Yay, I'm live. Good morning, you guys. Happy Sunday. It is I, Becca Lori Hector, here with Growing Gratitude. Growing Gratitude is my attempt to, on a very weekly public basis, kind of recount the gratitudes of my week very publicly in the hopes to grow the gratitude in my life, which should increase my happiness and should increase my positivity. And it does. So, yay. My hope is that by doing this and setting an example of doing it weekly, super publicly, maybe you guys will be inspired to do gratitude of your own. Anyway, so here we are in Growing Gratitude, and you must be saying to yourself, Becca, you look awfully together for a Sunday morning. You don't usually look this put together. And you're right. You are absolutely correct. I had to get up this morning, and before us, I had to get myself really ready because after us, I'm going directly into a live stream with Suit Man Productions, the Autistic Artists podcast. And I'm going to be, good morning, Joe, and I'm going to be talking about my writing. And while, I don't know, for some reason, I'm super comfortable on my own live stream, looking like whatever. When I feel like I'm going to be with other people, I feel like a small effort has to be made. So I have on a shirt and bra, and I put my hair up and wash my face and all those things. So I'm really I'm ready to do this. I'm excited to talk about my writing. I'm excited to chat with these guys and kind of have a fun Sunday morning. So before I get started on gratitude, at 9 a.m., right? 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time, and 11 a.m. Eastern, which will be like a half an hour when I'm done with gratitude, a half an hour later, I will be on the Facebook page of Suit Man Productions. So hop on Facebook, search for Suit Man, one word, Productions, and head over to their Facebook page. I will be doing a live with them at that time. Morning, Bernard. Morning, Joe. Did I say good morning? I hope so. So yeah, let's get our gratitudes on this morning. I am nicely awake. I don't know why, but I'm feeling really energized. I think I'm really excited to talk about my writing. I hope I get a chance to talk about my writing. I think that's what will happen because it's a piece of me that I don't really share with other people. It's a part of me that, you guys read my writing and all of that, but why I write and how I write and what I think about when I write is stuff that I really don't ever talk about. And so, yeah, I'm excited to do that. Anyway, let's get on to my gratitudes this morning. Here we go. I'm excited for this. So first of all, the first gratitude goes to Audrey Sissik, who is my lovely friend, who I have had on InfoDump, who I'm sure a lot of you guys see around. She's a fantastic advocate, and she's one of the hosts of this. And thanks to her, I am going to be on the podcast. So shout out to Audra, and thank you so much for saying yes and letting me be on the podcast. I appreciate it. So I know that one is number one in here. Let's see. Where else did I put things? I know I listed things. Did I list them in the wrong one? Probably. Maybe I didn't write them down. Oh, I did. No, that's last week's. You guys, I swear I wrote it down. I just don't know where I put it. All right. In any case, I kind of remember which ones they were. So we'll just do it. So this week, interesting week for me. Back to sort of normal now that I'm fully vaccinated. Been really weird, the masking situation. So here in Colorado, we are on, right now, it's mask optional with the exception of like jails and prisons and hospitals and like government public places. I want to say it seems to be. And so we're on part-time with masks, and they're only required in those spaces and spaces of 500 and more. So we're sort of seeing a small resurgence of COVID, not so shocking that people who aren't vaccinated are also taking advantage of the non-mask thing and getting other people sick, or those that aren't vaccinated are going out into the world and now they're getting sick. So we'll see what happens here in Colorado, you guys. Antonio says he thinks that we will have another lockdown in our future, and I don't know that he's wrong, but we shall see here. But nonetheless, it's creating all of these weird, awkward social moments for me where I'm like, do I wear a mask? I know I don't need it now that I'm vaccinated, and I know I can't get anyone else really sick, but is it now socially acceptable for me to just walk in someplace without a mask on? And it's that, the social awkwardness that comes with autism that's just like, do I, don't I? Am I going to look like the weird one? Am I going to look, so there's been a lot of those questions for me with Antonio today, the last few days as we've sort of lifted. And then on June 1st, apparently here, my glasses are bothering me. Apparently here, yeah, the other way. Okay. Oh, much better. Okay. So, yeah, so we'll see what happens. But on June 1st here, it's fully lifted. And, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to go outside and do things and less mask and all of that stuff. And yet there are still things that I want to hold on to that I learned about myself from the shutdown, from the whole pandemic, that I want to take with me going forward. And that is that I don't have to do things with a lot of people, and I can choose to say no, and I can choose to stay home, and I can work remotely, and I can do a whole bunch of things that I didn't think I could do before the pandemic, like design, teach, run, get sponsorships and scholarships for a course, for example. A year ago, month ago, so it's been a year and a month since I put the course out there. And I feel really good about that. That was really the achievement that I wanted to make in my advocacy, period. Like, that was my end goal of my advocacy, was to put out a tool for other autistic adults that were in my same situation to handle the what now after your diagnosis, right? And so now I've done that, and I've really been sitting on, and maybe I should talk about this on Tuesday, but in any case, I've really just been sitting on whether or not I want to continue to do advocacy, or if I'm sort of done, right? So I don't know. I think I might be done, you guys. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to talk about that more on Tuesday, I think, because it's still sort of new up here in the head. Anyway, but I'm really, really, really feeling grateful as this year mark comes around for having the courage to step forward and do the course and put it out there. Even though it made me feel incredibly vulnerable and it felt incredibly risky. And I felt like I was opening myself up to the criticism of the entire autism community and all kinds of things, but it's gone and been accepted really, really well. And I can't thank you enough for those of you who have taken the course. I am so grateful that you guys took the course so that I could know that what I put together really works. Like, it's one thing to know in your head it's going to work. It's another thing to see it play out in somebody's life and see it work. And so now that I've created it, I feel sort of like fulfilled a little bit. And so I don't know, that's where I'm at with it. But I thank you guys so much for supporting the course, for doing it, for running through it with me. I am so grateful for you. And on top of that, I wanted to do a giant shout out to my one-on-one clients. To those of you that have trusted me with your journey, who have shared with me your most vulnerable things, who have come to me in times of feeling overwhelmed or stuck, or any of those things. I cannot tell you what it means to me that you took that step to trust me, and my thoughts and my opinions and my guidance. That means a lot to me as a person. I'm really grateful for it. And I do hope that I've helped a whole bunch of people to sort of learn how to start moving forward with some confidence and learn how to embrace their diagnosis in a way that feels true to themselves and feels like they can own it, right? Oh, thank you, Joe. And I just am grateful. So I thank you to my one-on-one clients. I am so proud of you guys. I'm so proud of you for taking that first step of asking for help. And then on top of it, I'm so proud of you for taking the advice and going with it, right? Not just getting the advice, hearing it, and let it kind of go in one ear and out the other, and then still continuing to feel sad for ourselves. I am so, so proud of every single one of my one-on-one clients, every single one of my students that have taken the Self-Defined Living course. I don't know how to tell you what it feels like to help someone change their life for the better. It is better than any paycheck you could ever receive. So these gratitudes have been my big gratitudes for this week. As I'm closing up the last run of the live version and putting up the recordings for the next one and kind of thinking about future planning, I cannot help but think about all the people that I've helped along the way that have helped me back by saying, I trust you and I like the advice that you give. And I thank you for that stuff and all of your energy. And so that's been it's been a week of gratitude for that kind of popping up each day a little bit. And so that gets my kind of priority spot in terms of gratitudes this week, because it's certainly what I've been thinking about. So yeah, that's one. Second one, I need to be really vague about, because remember I talked to you on Tuesday and I said I had some news and it might change things and I'm really excited about it and blah, 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 but I can't tell you until it's real. And I thought it would be done by today, but it's not officially done by today. And so I don't want to jinx myself. And I'm really superstitious about that. And I don't know how pregnant women know that they're pregnant and don't tell people for 12 weeks, because all I want to tell you is tell you, but I don't want to tell you until I know I'm in a good spot about it and it's definite and for sure and all of those things. And so I will hold off, but I want to still give a gratitude for it in a really special way. So what I want to say is a giant shout out of gratitude to the universe for providing opportunities that when your eyes are open and you're willing to open the doors, these opportunities come by. If you're willing to ask, because you know that if you don't ask, the answer is going to be no anyway, and you ask anyway, the universe will provide. Okay. Then you just have to be looking. You have to be aware and paying attention, because it might be an opportunity that you think you're not looking for, or one that's kind of wrapped up in some other package that you don't see it the way that it's sort of sitting. You don't recognize it. That's the word I'm looking for. So be open to those things, because the universe does provide. And I have two very lovely possible opportunities. I want to say alleged opportunity. That's how I feel. I feel like it's like that with, I have two alleged opportunities coming up here, and and they are not in the autism community. And I am grateful for these two opportunities. I hope that they pan out. I think the changes that they will set forth in my life are the things that I've been looking for, if that makes sense. And I think will make me feel more fulfilled as a person. So universe, shout out. I saw you loud and clear this week, universe. No problem. A message came through. Opportunities are seen, and I am grateful for them. I cannot wait to share the details of them with you, but I do want to hold on to that just so that I don't mess anything up. And so, yes, I am incredibly, incredibly grateful for that. It'll be really exciting. And so that's those are my big gratitudes for this week. I know that I had some other ones, and I wish I could remember. I know I wrote them down somewhere and I can't remember. I didn't put them in my usual spot. I must have put them somewhere else. Anyway, so, I know what my last gratitude was. Haha, my memory remembered. So this week, because it's been so full of opportunities, and because it's been that kind of week, where I've had a lot of gratitude and then a lot of opportunity, it's felt like a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. Good emotions, but still like that, high, like the highs were just so like this, right? And when that happens, that's really hard for me in a different kind of way. I guess it's sort of, my depression likes to talk to me about those days and remind me that they don't stick around, and I'm not really allowed to feel that and all of that stuff. So that happens, and fighting that off is exhausting. But then there's also that feeling of, this is really good, so something really shitty is going to happen, which is terrible. But it's, the cycle of my life, because that is the truth of my past. My brain can't help but to go there, right? And then I have to fight that old cycle, and that's exhausting. So I have I have a bunch of animals in my house, as you guys know, and some of them are Antonio's, they're very close, and some of them are mine, and we're very close. And as you know, Walter is my baby. He is my everything. But on the days when I'm struggling with all of this internal emotional chaos, sometimes dog energy is too big. It's too big for me. And so this week it was too big for me, so that Walter wasn't feeling like the right pairing for what I was needing. And what the right pairing was with one of my cats. And so he is my oldest cat. He is my baby. Mr. Schmidt, he's my big old fat black and white Maine Coon. He has welcomed all 5 other cats into the house. And he's a great big brother, but for me, he's like, I don't know how else to explain it, but to say he's my familiar. So if you are all familiar with Wiccan, or if you're at all familiar with like, I don't want to say witchcraft because that's not really what I mean. But if you understand what a familiar is, that is what my Schmidt is for me. He is my familiar. And when he senses that I'm feeling that way, he just sits with me. He's there. He's just there. So he sleeps with me. He's on my stomach or on my chest or next to me or whatever. And just he's just like a big old fat cat rock that just sits with me and is with me. And that's it. And he doesn't ask anything of me other than pets and snuggles. Whereas sometimes the dogs need a little bit more. And they're definitely higher energy than cats. And so, shout out to my Schmidt, because I really needed you this week, bud. And I didn't have to ask you. You're just there. And I love you. I love him so much. And let me see. I'll try and find a picture of him real quick. They don't show up great when I do this weird thing because I don't know how to do the other thing. But I'm going to show you anyway. Let's see if I can find a goodie of him. He's such a good guy. Let's see. Big fat Schmitty. And one. Here, this is a great one. Okay. There he is. That's my Mr. Schmidt right there. Oh, there we go. Big old fat Schmidt. So that's my big guy. And I love him. I love him so much. And there are days, and those of you that have cats, right, or want cats, will know what I mean by saying, right, I love him. And the way that we tell them is different than words. And so I'm going to share with you guys the words that I wish that I could share with him, because I tell him in other ways. And I don't know what I do without him. This cat is, first of all, he picked me at the shelter. I don't know why I'm so cry-y this morning. Very emotional week, I told you. And he picked me out at the shelter, and he was just so sweet. And he was regular fur and just so, he just was so sweet. And he was on my lap and sitting with me at the shelter. And then I had to get up, right? And I stood up to get up, but he didn't want to get off my lap. He was afraid of all the other cats around me. And at the time when I was bringing him home, I had an even older cat, and she was sort of meh and cranky. And I knew I needed to bring a cat in that was going to sort of ask her permission to be there, if that makes sense. Like a really, really sweet cat, right? And I knew I didn't get another girl because that wasn't gonna happen. So when he was sitting on my lap, and he was just so sweet about not wanting to get into the other cats' faces, that I knew it was him. I knew he was the one, and I brought him home. And I didn't know that he was a Maine Coon mix at the time. So when I brought him home, he was really in what we call like the awkward phase for Maine Coons before they grow in their collar. So somewhere between kittenhood and adulthood and sort of their teenage years, they lose their kitten collar, and then they grow in an adult collar and all their big fluff and all of that stuff and all their size. Well, I got him in that in-between phase, so I thought he was a full-grown regular cat. And then as he was living with me, he kept growing and getting bigger and fluffier and fluffier. And thus I come to find out that he is a Maine Coon mix. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is when I fell in love with Maine Coon mixes, because Mr. Schmidt is just that special. So shout out to you, Schmidt, because you really, you were my ESA this week, as you've often been. And I thank you for that, because I needed you this week. So that's it. Those are my gratitudes for this week. I thank you guys so much for joining me on a Sunday morning, so blessedly early in the morning, to talk about the things in my life that I just am so fucking grateful for sometimes, that I could, like, it oozes out of my body. And so this is a wonderful spot to share it with the world, in hopes that it puts some positivity out there. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Sunday, as always. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for all the cat love faces, because I can see them all and I don't even need to read them. I just know you guys get it and how it feels. Anyway, so have an amazing Sunday. Go out there and, do what I always tell you to do. Seek joy, create joy, share joy, all the joy, right? And also take some time today to think about your gratitudes. Maybe say them out loud to nobody. Maybe write them down. Maybe share them with a friend or a family member, or just keep them in your mind. But take some time to sit down and really think about what it is you have to be grateful for, even in your shittiest times. It gives you that little bit of motivation you need to wake up tomorrow, even on those shitty days. Have an amazing Sunday, you guys. Don't forget that in 2 days. Okay, 2 days. On Tuesday is the self-care seminar. If you'd like to register, registration is open right now. If you've taken the course or in the middle of the course, you get a discount on that. So email me directly to get that discount. You guys, it's $20. It's an hour. It's just going to be on the self-care that we need. Forget self-care in general. This is autistic self-care. So I hope you guys will join me for that on Tuesday. If you head to BeccaLory, LORY.com, you can register for the seminar. You can check out the course. You can see the Ko-Fi page, the Redbubble store, sign up for the newsletter, follow my social media, and of course, see my writing. Not to mention the contact page. If you fill out that contact page, it gets emailed directly to me. And if you have a little patience, I promise you will get a response from me. I thank you guys so much for joining me again. I hope you share your gratitudes and you also go and do all the joys. Have a great Sunday, you guys. Don't forget to join me on Soupman Productions Facebook page in about a half hour, 40 minutes. I will see you there. Guys, have a good one. Bye.